Welcome to All Four Downs. It is official. The top four teams in the country. Put your shocked face on. Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame. It's exactly what we thought it was going to be. We saw these games get played out on the field. Jace, let me start with you. What are your thoughts on that top four? And then more specifically, tell me how you feel about 5 and 6.
As far as the top four goes, I just see it as lambs getting fed to the slaughter. That is the Tigers and the Tide. And as far as that goes, like with that being the case as the NFL is, and how basically we could just go back to the Teddy said it on Keys to the City earlier. We could basically this season just go back to the BTS Bowl. Because it's just real two good teams. And so why not throw in like a Cincy? Why not throw in a Coastal? Why not give someone a little bit more love? Because Notre Dame looked like they really don't deserve to be on the same field of any good team last night. And then 5 and 6, Texas A&M deserves to be there. 6, I don't get Oklahoma being there. That makes no sense to me. They played really, really good. They have played really good since those 2 losses, but still they have 2 losses to Kansas State. Well, what's Kansas State doing now? And you're gonna put a team that lost to Kansas State in the top 6. But I don't know. It's all political, not how I see it, but I guess that is how the NCAA sees it.
I mean, I want to say it's disappointing, but it's not because we knew what it was going to be. Nobody was surprised at all. Trev, your Ohio State Buckeyes played like garbage. Still got out of there with a win.
Yeah,
6 wins at that. Still feeling good about things.
I mean, Joe, what did I texted you yesterday saying that Ohio State didn't deserve to win that game yesterday, but thank God for number 8, Trey Sermon. I mean, an out-of-this-world performance in the Big Ten championship game, a record Big Ten championship game, and an Ohio State record now with 331 yards. The defense played their part. For a defense that's been struggling throughout this entire season, they found a way to hold a Northwestern team that's kind of been stagnant at times throughout the season offensively. But it all comes down to Trey Sermon. Ohio State's not in the college football playoff right now if number 8 doesn't have the performance he has. Plain and simple. And I texted you that yesterday. I was not impressed with Ohio State. And they have to play their A++ game come New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve? Or is it New Year's Day? It's New Year's Day. They have to play their A++ game to beat Clemson. Plain and simple. And they're going to have to play their A++ if they want to win the national championship the rest of the way. It's plain and simple. Because I even said it on Keys to the City. And I've been saying it about Notre Dame. I needed to see it. You guys told me this was a really good Notre Dame team. And what did I say to you guys on the past show? I said, I see this every year with Notre Dame. What just happened with Trevor Lawrence? Clemson, to me, yes, Alabama's number 1 going into the college football playoff. But boy, oh boy, Clemson, they made a statement yesterday. They made a mockery of Notre Dame. And guess what? If I'm a betting man, how can you go against Trevor Lawrence right now?
I totally agree with you there, man. Clemson, it was at another level. It was one of those. Let me hit you with an uppercut, and then I'm gonna knock you out with a straight shot right to the chin. And these guys, they didn't let loose. I mean, excuse me, they let loose. And,
it looked like a Mike Tyson fight. Mike Tyson gave him a try, get a field goal, and then bam, bam, it's over. It's like, okay. Good job.
Absolutely. I had the top 4 the same as the committee had, and I knew because Ohio State's been, it just seems like they were just giving it to them. The committee, the Big Ten supporting Ohio State. I mean, even now they did word that later on today we'll find out if they're going to change the rules for 21 days of being absent after testing positive to a lesser amount of days. So, and that's to get these guys prepared for the semifinals. I mean, it's ridiculous how you could just continue on making these changes. And really, it just seems like they're not taking this COVID-19 seriously, But, hey, that's another topic. However, Alabama looked very well. The defense looked suspect against Florida, especially after Florida just it would have been different if Florida had beaten LSU. Then maybe we would have seen Florida and number 4. I believe that they had the opportunity to surpass Texas A&M and hit that forward the way they played against Alabama, but it didn't turn out to be that way. I see Alabama and Clemson in the finals, with Clemson actually winning this tournament.
Ov, can I tell you something? I said this to Trevor earlier on Keys of the City. I didn't think for 1 second last night that Florida was going to win that game. Not 1 second. Not from the opening kickoff till the final whistle. Even with all the great game, late game heroics from, I never for 1 second thought Alabama was going to lose that game.
I didn't think so either. Especially when Florida had bad time management. They used the timeouts. I think that affected them even more. But again, like, I was surprised the way Florida offense came back. And I mean, no matter how hard you try to play them, you know, they have that talent, and you have to respect Florida. I think they understood that they should have never took it easy on LSU, you know. But here we are. It's Alabama once again, SEC champions for I don't know how many more times. But you're absolutely right, Joe. If they had 3 timeouts, then I would have been nervous. I really have. I think Florida would have had a chance. They were moving the ball effectively, but at the end of the day, it's Alabama all the way.
Yeah, I think as long as Dan Mullins is on the sideline, I would always feel good.
I'm sure you're happy. Yes, you know what?
Some way,
I should have texted you and be like, "Hey, I bet you're happy now."
Oh yeah, Dan Mullins, I think, is one of the worst big program coaches in all of college football. So that I actually did enjoy that quite a bit. I'll say this, and I did mention this to Teddy and Trevor a while ago. As far as Alabama's defense, they had given up 36 points in the previous 5 games. I'll forgive a shootout with Florida. I feel like that might have been their best scout team practice to prepare for Trevor Lawrence. To see a guy play out of his mind like that with weapons like that, I think that was good for Bama. I think Bama can go back and figure out where things went wrong. You still won the game, so you got to feel good about that.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Trask isn't Lawrence, but you're talking about like an A1 kind of quarterback. I think there's a lot to be learned by Alabama, and I suspect a much better performance in a potential showdown.
I mean, that's the game.
I said the game. These are the 4 best quarterbacks going into. Sorry, I'm just taking one quick thing. These are 4
go ahead.
In college football this season with this subtraction. I said this in the show, subtraction Trask. So you're getting the top tier quarterbacks of college football this year in the college football playoff with no Kyle Trask. Sorry, Ov.
No, you're good. Hey, Nick Saban was just digging on the defensive coordinator. If y'all saw the game, you would see even before halftime, he was yelling at him. And there are just some plays, especially everyone knew Trask was getting the ball when they were at the goal line to squeeze in. And yeah, he still scored and was getting on them. So you damn right it's going to happen. They're going to fix themselves and prepare themselves against Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame is not anywhere close to offensively as good as Florida is. So, like I said earlier, it lambs to the slaughter.
Which again, I think brings up the idea of why not Cincinnati? Why not run a defense that you use the word elite? I wouldn't necessarily say elite, but maybe legit the best actual defense in college football. Why not run that up against Bama or against Clemson, just to see if anybody or anything can slow it down? More than like a park bench facing a freight train.
I think the reason why they didn't pick Cincinnati is that Ritter is a freshman. I know that team is young, but I mean, these guys, their defense is ranked in the top 20 in football, and their offense as well. So, like, I agree. Cincinnati does deserve to be up there, right? But then at the end of the day, man, if you look at their resume, even though they're undefeated, most of the teams that defeated, they've fallen off, And yes, it's double standard because Ohio State is the same way. You know, where's your Michigan? Where's your Penn State? All these teams that are supposed to be good this year, they weren't good. But in defense on that, they didn't make up for Northwestern. And you got to give respect to Northwestern. They did play a hell of a game despite their loss.
Hell yeah. I mean, they should have easily won that game if they had some sort of offense that could just move the freaking ball. I mean, they had a chance to win that game. That was Northwestern's for the taking. I mean, you could, literally, Ohio State played probably a C minus, almost D game, with the exception of Trey Sermon. That and the defense. I mean, their offense played garbage. Their passing game was non-existent, but yet they had 22 players out. They got to figure that out. That's inexcusable. They got to get this whole COVID situation down and stop being freaking idiots. All right, smart for God.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's frustrating. I want to see a full healthy Ohio State team play against Clemson. If they get killed with a full healthy team, okay. But I don't need to see this. Oh well, they have 20 players out due to COVID. Well, that's their problem. That's their fault because they're not being smart. So get your head out and start being smart. Let me
bounce this off you guys for a minute. Let's say that Notre Dame had won the first game. Say Trevor Lawrence had played and Notre Dame had won the first matchup and won the second matchup, and now Notre Dame has tumbled out. And let's say Ohio State had lost yesterday. Is the Power Five really happy with Alabama, Clemson, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma being their top four had these situations played out differently? Or do you guys think, given some of these things not happening earlier in the year, that a team like Cincinnati would have had a much? Because, look, they've had Texas A&M propped in that 5-6 spot even after getting blown out by 4 scores to Alabama. It seemed like they had that sitting there as like the fallback just to be safe. And to their credit, I was surprised. I picked against them twice. A&M won out from there. But that, I mean, would that legit? Could you call them a number 3 and a number 4 team and feel good, knowing that there's teams like Cincinnati and Coastal Carolina out there undefeated?
I think when it comes to said and done, is that the Aggies probably wouldn't even have made it. I think and they already said it on the show, was that Oklahoma and Georgia, 2 lost teams, they were getting more respect because ever since they lost their 2 losses, somehow, some way, they gained weapons and everything else. They were playing championship material teams. You know what I mean? Not like Texas A&M that they barely squeaking by each game. You had Georgia, Oklahoma blowing teams out. And look at Oklahoma defeating Iowa State. You know, that rematch, and they convincingly
defeated them. Did it, though.
Absolutely.
It wasn't a shootout. It wasn't the typical Oklahoma. And this is what Oklahoma, I said on the last show, this is why I thought Oklahoma was going to win. Their defense has been playing like a different – this is not an Oklahoma ordinary team where it's just offense. They score 50 points a game, 500 yards total offense. No, it's a team that has a good set of balance, running the football. Spencer Rattler has really come into a groove of things. And now that defense is – I would have liked to see in Oklahoma, and I would have liked to see in Cincinnati. I don't want to see Texas A&M because I've seen enough. I saw one game. They'll play 4 touchdowns. Hell, I would have taken – if Ohio State faltered yesterday, I would have taken –
I don't get that. Why you letting Oklahoma off the hook off their 2 early losses? And then Texas
Oklahoma was getting hot. I think Oklahoma was getting hot at the right time.
Right, and it's a fluke.
Okay, but Texas A&M early season loss by 4 touchdowns to the best team in the country, and you're still gonna give Oklahoma that.
I don't want to see 1 versus 4. I don't want to see Alabama and A&M in a rematch. I'm sorry. If you want to see,
okay, all right. I get that part, but like when you're talking about the better teams, A&M is better than Oklahoma.
How do you know? How do you know that, though? How do you
exactly?
Know that?
How we know that?
How can I prove that Ohio State's better than Coastal Carolina? How can I prove that anything? The only thing that we can prove is that Alabama this year and Clemson are by far better than everybody else. Everything else would be up for the taking. Forget about the Vegas odds and stuff like that, the lines of the game. Plain and simple, Alabama, what we know is Alabama and Clemson are above and shoulders everybody else. Head and shoulders better than everybody else. And everybody else will be for the taking. So it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter if it was Oklahoma against Ohio State, Coastal Carolina, Ohio State, Notre Dame against any of these teams. It didn't matter. Everybody be up for the taking this year because we've known that that Clemson and Alabama have established themselves as the two best teams in college football by far, too.
Right. Hey, and we could probably debate even more on this, but all the teams are in position for at least for the top 6. We'll find out later of the rest of the teams going into their respective bowls. And once again, Alabama number 1, Clemson number 2. You have Ohio State at number 3 and Notre Dame dropping from 2 to 4. Those 4 teams will be in there. We had a survey last night, and the fans agreed they would have been happy either Notre Dame or Texas A&M to be the number 4 spot. But hey, another topic we'll discuss on our next episode of All 4 Downs is the Heisman Trophy winner. On January 5th, they will do a presentation. The votings will close tomorrow. That's right. It'll be closed on Monday. And the candidates will be announced on Christmas Eve to see who will be the ones competing for the Heisman Trophy win. Also, we also want to recognize the winner of the College Pick'em. And the winner is Jace. Congratulations, Jace. First place, well, his record was 100 wins, 83 losses, and 1 tie. But that's a mixture of the spread, over-unders, and, of course, a few of those were straight up. So congratulations to Jace. How do you feel, man? We don't recognize anyone after second, third, and fourth, baby.
I mean, Joey, you can be fine being the best loser if you came in second. But I'm the winner.
That's right. Go ahead.
I won this. I won all 4 downs, and then it's just going to continue. I'm going to continue to win, drawing about the G-Men, which we're going live with a pre-show later today at 7:45 for the game tonight. But I just know how to pick them. That plain and simple.
Well, I tell you what, man. Congratulations, man. You got this. I got it last year. You got it this year. Let's see if you could defend your title next season. But hey, we still got one more tournament.
You didn't have me for a full season.
We got Bone Mania coming up, and Trevor, you know what? You could join us. All right, you could join us. But as fun as the money line is concerned, you know, we'll try hard next time. But there was a lot of close games. The spreads were not even as close as what the game actually turned out to be. So if you went for Alabama, you were disappointed. If you went for Ohio State, you were disappointed. But if you went for Clemson, that was the only team that actually kept the spread. So congratulations to whoever picked Clemson and all the other upsets there. But Joe, this wraps up our show. Your final words.
Well, today went exactly the way I think we all thought it was going to. And for all the hype and all of the hope that we could possibly see a team like Cincinnati or a Coastal Carolina in a year where it only would have and could have made sense, NCAA did exactly what they always do. And as I look at those Final Four, I think to myself, I'm a little disappointed, but can I be mad? And at the end of the day, I think Trevor hit the nail on the head. You're going to have 4 of the best quarterbacks in college football going head-to-head. We've seen a couple of these already. It'd be great to see the rest of them. But at the end of the day, as much as I hate to say it, because I do love me some Coastal Carolina, the NCAA committee got it right. I think we're going to see the 4 best teams in the country, and I think we're really going to enjoy it. We'll see you back here next Wednesday night at 7:30. We once again give you all 4 downs for Ovi and Big Jace and Trevor. I'm Joe McGuire. Thanks for checking out All 4 Downs, part of the Clovercrest Media Group Sports Network.
That